Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to my channel. And today we're doing a review on the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7. There's a lot of reviews out there about the phone. So, if you're looking to find out about specs and things like that, that's actually not what I'm going to go over. Obviously, the other people, there's a lot more people who could tell you that. I'm not going to do the same thing and be repetitive. I'm going to tell you the truth. And what I mean by the truth is not that anybody's lying or anything, but I'm going to tell you the truth about actually owning the phone compared to another phone. And when I mean owning the phone, I mean specifically for gaming. A lot of us uses the phones for gaming, and I am a huge hardcore gamer when it comes to phones. I probably game on phones more than anyone I know. So the real question is the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold a good gaming phone? Alright, so here's a couple things about the Samsung that I love. Is first of all, you do have a decent sized front screen. Alright, so this phone is pretty usable. Say you wanted to do regular contents, or just use it as a regular phone in general. It's pretty good. Now you guys know my password. Well, it does have a fingerprint sensor there, but as you guys can see, this is a great form factor. I usually don't buy Samsungs, especially not a Fold. I used to always hate the fact that this phone here back in the days had a really small screen, and now you can see that it's a decent sized screen. Like, I could use this. On top of that, the phone is extremely slim. It's actually hard to tell right now just because it's a video, but it's a very slim phone. Alright. But I do love, the best part about it is that you can open it up. Right? So when you open it up, it's almost like a small tablet. It's not quite a tablet. If you're looking for a tablet experience, it's not really there, but it's definitely bigger than a phone, right? So I kind of wanted to go over and see, if you guys look at the bottom, obviously I got my Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, Peacock, Hulu, but then I do, the whole bottom row is filled with games that I play. All right. So I'm actually going to give you guys a real review on what I think about the phone and if it's a real gaming phone, right? Based on the specs, based on everything, it seems like it should be fine for gaming, right? Because it has the latest flagship processors, right? But here's the thing, what does it look like having a phone like this when you're used to having a phone like this? This is gonna be our number one contender here. This is what I've been using. This phone here is the Red Magic 10 Pro. And this phone here has been out for maybe about 1 year, where this phone here has only been out for 3 months. Now, just to show you guys size comparison, alright, side by side, they are almost identical sizes. It is a little bit wider on the Red Magic, right? As far as thickness, guys, this is crazy, guys, when you look at the thickness, and it's kind of hard to see, but the Red Magic is actually probably a little bit thicker than the Samsung. It's hard to tell. They're almost the same size. But the fact that this is a folding phone and the Red Magic is a regular phone, Samsung did an amazing job compacting, putting everything into the phone and making it foldable, right? So, I'm not going to try to make this a review about the Red Magic 10 because the 11 is literally going to come out in a few days in America, and it's been out for maybe a month in China, right? So, here's what I'm going to tell you guys, though. Let's start with the front screen, right? So, first of all, the Red Magic sits flat. The camera bumps, there is no such thing as a camera bump. It's a slab. It's just as flat as the front, which is great because With this phone here, you put it on the flat. I know plenty of people play games, and you know, you could be playing Candy Crush, Clash Royale, you know, Yu-Gi-Oh, whatever. You know, whatever game you want, you got a nice flat surface, right? This phone here, as you can see, has the craziest wobble you can get, and it's due to these cameras. Now, to be fair, to be honest, you would think the Red Magic doesn't have that great of a camera because it's a gaming phone, but the cameras are almost identical. Red Magic does use a Samsung lens, and they're literally identical. I've taken pictures outside with both phones. I've zoomed in with both phones. You know, it only goes to 3 times optical zoom. It's not that serious. It does have better, you know, other lenses like the optical zoom and all this and that, but yeah. Now, I'm going to start with it closed, right? So one thing that I like about it, and we're going to open a game. Oh, by the way, this phone here has a built-in screen, fingerprint scanner, which I think is amazing. But let's start with, we're just going to do a basic game. We'll do the Tiger, right? So, as you guys can see, even though this phone has a front-facing camera, the front-facing camera on the Red Magic is under the display. So when you're playing the game, you lose no real estate. It's literally in the right form factor, right? Let me turn on the Samsung here with the Tiger. All right, so first of all, here's the thing. Here, let's turn down the volume real quick. All right, so it looks like I'm getting logged into 2 accounts, so that kind of stinks. All right, so I should have known. But here's the thing about this. There is a camera punch hole on the front of the Samsung, right? And here, let me kind of... There is a camera punch hole on the front of the Samsung. So the biggest problem with that is once you start playing a game in landscape mode, and here, we'll just hop in here. See how everything is, so see how everything here is on this side, but everything here is kind of pushed over to the side. So even though they do allow you to still use this real estate, it's all pushed to the side. So where one of my fingers could be here, my other finger is here. And, you know, after a while, it kind of feels weird. I'm sure it's something that you could get used to. But it's not the same, right? Let me show you on the other phone. You know, and the only reason why I use this is because that's the only phone that I have to show you guys with. Plus, it's a great gaming phone, you know. So on this phone here, as you can see, the chat is supposed to be where it's supposed to be. It doesn't matter. The joystick is equally placed with that, right? So when it comes to the closed screen, to be honest, I give it to the Red Magic. Another big problem is with playing with this is it is a smaller screen, guys. I don't know if you guys can tell, but even though they're almost the same size, it is a smaller screen. So games do feel more squished in here, where in this one here, they feel bigger. So playing with this closed screen, you can do it. It's doable, but it's not ideal. One game that I play all the time is called The Wolf. And the problem with this phone too is not every game is optimized. And you're going to run into that issue with other games too. So here's the thing about this game. You see how everything is kind of stretched out? The resolution is not good. It's all stretched out. And the reason why, it's because the developers of the games, of different games, they're not used to this aspect ratio. So it doesn't have to be The Wolf. It could be any other game. But the aspect ratio just doesn't match because this phone has 2 aspect ratios. It has one on the front screen and one on the open screen, right? So that's the biggest problem, you know. So as you can see, the open screen looks great. It looks just like how it's supposed to be. But when you close it, it's all stretched out. And so it's kind of part of the fault of the developers. but it's also because of the uniqueness of the phone. Where when you play on this game, this game on here, you'll have no problem because this is just one aspect ratio. It doesn't matter, right? So, that's one thing that I don't like about it, right? As far as the speakers sound about the same. They both have dual speakers, but I do think that the Red Magic does have better speakers, to be honest, right? The Red Magic, first of all, has dual speakers, has one at the bottom, one on top. It also has a headphone jack if you're a gamer. Has a bunch of other cool features like a built-in fan, but we're not going to talk about that because this isn't really too much about that. But for this phone here, if you're a gamer and you want good quality audio, unfortunately you have to do Bluetooth on this, right? Which Bluetooth has lag. It does have lag, so sometimes it doesn't sound in sync the way that you wanted it to be, right? So that's a problem. Now, let's go to the main screen, just because really this is what this phone is really why people would buy it. The small screen here is for, easy stuff like text message, phone calls. You want to scroll through social media, right? But the big screen is really where is the cream of the crop. This here turns the phone into a tablet, right? Now, I'm going to show you the game that I was playing, The Wolf. And here's the problem that you run into when you play this, right? So let's just go to a random map. First of all, the bezels on here are so thin that holding it is almost like, it's almost like inconvenient for your hands. Just look at that. Just imagine holding like let's kind of exaggerate, and let's say you're holding a credit card in your hand and you're trying to play video games with it. Like a credit card, it's too thin. It's too thin, right? So this phone here is too thin. And then the problem is a lot of the buttons here are way too cornered. So when I'm playing this game, now don't get me wrong, I love the graphic. I love the big display. I could zoom out and have way more view. This looks great. Playing with this still, see how my thumbs are like literally on a 90-degree angle? This, because it's so big. It's so big. You need to have space. Your thumbs have to be chill and relaxed like this, And playing like this and holding the tablet is not that convenient. On a regular bar phone, when you're holding it. Alright, so let's see. This right here just feels natural. It just feels natural, right? Now, I paid $2,000 for the Samsung Fold. So obviously, I've tried using it for gaming. But for this particular game, it's not that great. It's not letting me go. Alright, so don't get me wrong. The graphics look great. But see, for example, this here, see, at least, you got more feel in your hands to hold on to, Sometimes too skinny is not great. It's really not. And then as far as my thumbs, I'm not at a 90 degrees angles like this trying to play. Like the buttons are actually where they're supposed to be. So when I'm playing, it's not that bad, right? Now they both have the Snapdragon Elite processor. They both have the Adreno 840 chip. So they'll both perform well. But as you can see too, even the screen on the Red Magic is a lot more vibrant than the screen on the Samsung. Now this might be a different opinion for you guys, but I just think that the Red Magic has that much more color. And, and I apologize if I'm bashing Samsung, but it's just that, if you're planning to use this phone in gaming, it's not the greatest. Now, another problem that we're going to talk about, too, is overheating. You know what? Let's do some comparison of the sound. So first, I'm going to show you guys the Red Magic. Sounds pretty good, right? Alright, and then now we're going to show you this phone right here. The Samsung, and see how it sounds. What the hell? They're both pretty good, I would say. Alright, we're gonna kill this monkey real quick. This giant gorilla. I had to turn it down a bit because that was pretty loud. And then after that, I'll go over a couple things that about Samsung. Some things that I do like and things that I don't like. Oh, these guys got on the way on my claw, bro. They didn't let me get it. Alright. So, not bad. I mean, again, it's something that you can use. But the thing is, if you have a slab phone like this, and you play games on your phone constantly, you know, you're going to end up reverting back to it, right? I was really hoping that I could get away from using my Red Magic, you know, and still play with the other phone. And I'm telling you, I have to carry it around everywhere. I have to carry this. I carry two phones around because if I ever want a game, I use this phone here. Now, I'm going to tell you guys a couple more things about the Samsung, right? First of all, battery life is not great. This thing only has a 4,000 milliamp battery, where this has a 7,000 milliamp battery, right? So, you think about it, it's a big screen, and then you got a small battery in this. First of all, the overheating on this, it does heat up pretty fast. And first, because it's so skinny. It's so skinny, it's so small, it doesn't have anywhere for the heat to go to. So it does heat up faster, where the Red Magic, I never have any overheating issues. So the small battery is a plus, right? I mean, it's a minus on this. It's definitely a minus. I run out of batteries so quick on this if I'm gaming. And then the worst part is charging this phone. Right? So, you know, if you can't keep your phone with battery because you're playing video games, the next best thing to do is to charge it, right? This phone right here has 125 watt charging power, so you can charge this phone within 30 minutes from 0 to 100. I could literally play the game, you know, on full processing mode and pretty much get my phone charged at the same time. With this phone here, if I'm trying to play the game and charge the phone, it takes forever. It takes forever to charge. You know, my phone barely goes up in battery if I'm playing a game and I'm charging. And then, like I said, the worst part is it just takes forever. It only has a 30 watt charging, fast charger, which isn't fast in this day and age. Alright, what else? The other thing I don't like about it is there's a lot of things that are not, I don't know. It's just like, let me show you guys Instagram. You see that, guys? This is supposed to be a reel. Shout out to FYBJ, man. But this is supposed to be a reel. Look at that. I'm scrolling. I can't even see the whole reel. I can't even see it. You know, everything is just like, yeah, you got a bigger screen, but it just stretches everything out. Facebook is the same way. Pretty much any mobile app is just going to get stretched out. You know, you could literally close the phone and see more. This is how it's supposed to be. You know, and then as you scroll, you could see a couple more things, you know. Like, see, this is like a regular post, you know. But you could literally see more as you're scrolling. Where when you open it up like this... Oh, that actually looked okay. But, you know, when you're opening it up like this and you're trying to watch a video, it just takes up the whole screen, which is kind of weird. So usually when I scroll through social media or anything like that, I usually do it on my Red Magic, because on my Red Magic it's how it's supposed to be. You know, phones and apps are not designed. See, like I could actually see comments. I could see different things. See here, I gotta scroll down to see comments, right? You know, here I'll show you guys another reel if I could see a reel. So that's not a reel. But see, like for example, this is a reel. It takes up the whole space, but it also shows you, you know, like the comments and things like that. You know, this thing here takes up too much space. So even though it's cool that you got a bigger screen, it's not super convenient, right? Let's see what else about this phone that I don't like. I mean, aside from that, it's still pretty cool, to be honest. So I go on YouTube. I love that it does have different kind of things like that. So here, look. So for YouTube, you could do the mobile, or you could do the desktop one when you put it sideways, see? And then you got your recommendations here. So I do like the Z Fold. It's a great regular phone. It's great for media consumption, right? So say I watch this video here, right? I could put it on full screen. What's crazy too is it doesn't actually give you a full screen, but it's still pretty big compared to a regular phone, right? But to be honest, don't let it fool you. It's not that much bigger. Say I play a video on here. Here, we're just gonna play this one here and compare it. Oh, it's way bigger. Oh, it's way bigger. So as far as, this is why I still have the Samsung and I didn't return it, and I didn't. It's because it's great for media consumption. Say you're watching a movie. Say you're doing, I don't know. Say you're doing anything that has to do with websites. So here, let me see. So here, we're going to click here. So see, like, and then here, if you do desktop mode, you can actually see things on desktop mode. Well, that didn't work. Maybe I'm on the wrong site. Let's go here. 3i Atlas. You guys know what 3i Atlas is? But it's a little bit better, especially for like reading and things like that. But as far as a gaming phone, it's not great. So unfortunately, when it comes to gaming, I still have the Red Magic 10. It came out so long ago, maybe like a year ago, and it definitely beats the Samsung. The Samsung is just a cool factor. It folds, you know, and everything is bigger so you could see better. But as far as for gaming, I would not recommend it. If you're a hardcore gamer on your phone, I don't recommend you switch to the Samsung. Most of the time, you're going to have to play it closed because that's the resolution that's supposed to be. And when you open it up, it just doesn't look right. Anyways, guys, that was just me kind of going over the Samsung, letting you guys know how it feels. Don't get me wrong, I still love the Samsung. I really do. I really do. But when you compare it for a gaming phone, to be honest, it's just always tossed on the side. And I still play with the Red Magic, which is crazy. So, but if you like this video, make sure you guys like it. Tune in, things like that. Oh, and let me show you guys the case that I got for this. The case is actually legit on here. This first part here slides on this way. Second part on slides on this way right here. Here, let me put this. Let me close this up. I got this case on eBay, and it's pretty slim. I was trying to get. Oh wow! Look at all these fingerprints. All right, so trying to get a phone that has a hinge on the side. Trying to find a case where it's pretty even on both sides, even with this, is tough. But I found this case where it's not too bulky and it still feels like a regular phone, right? But that's the problem too with this phone is you're gonna run into that issue where the hinge cover is too big. So then you're either using the phone with that doesn't have a hinge cover. I mean, a case that doesn't have a hinge cover, which, you know, will eventually damage the phone, or, you know, you're going to be stuck really looking everywhere to try to find one that doesn't have a big hinge cover, right? So, anyways, I usually keep the cases on the phone, but for this review, I took them off. Other than that, though, I love both phones. They both have pros and cons. Obviously, Samsung has that big display, which is cool to use. I use it all the time to do media consumption. If I'm eating, watching anything, I do it on my Samsung. But when it comes to gaming, social media, or anything, I use my Red Magic. Now, hopefully you don't have to do both. You can adapt with the Samsung. Unfortunately, to do most of the regular phone stuff, you have to do it on the small screen. You don't have to, but it's better on the small screen because it's designed to be that size. Every time somebody makes an app or anything, they design it to be that size. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. You know, I'll be doing some more reviews, but this was just my review of the Samsung Z Fold, and if I think that the Z Fold is a great gaming phone. Thanks.